Praise the Lord, everybody. My name is Sister Natasha Williams, and the portion of the panel that I'll be covering today is raising children during stressful times. It's not just for them, but for us as parents as well. We also saw some changes in the kids from an emotional or mental perspective. This was a big change for them. They went from seeing their friends every day, seeing their teachers, and, engaging with them on a daily basis to seeing them virtually. So the communication that they had with them for the most part was just all over the computer. And I, noticed after a while that, especially in my daughter who's 12 years old, that, sometimes she just wasn't very verbal. And I became kind of concerned, because I didn't know, okay, is this something hormonal? She's going through some changes in her body now. And so I was wondering, is it from a hormonal perspective that she's going through changes, or is it something more emotional and she doesn't know exactly how to verbalize how she feels? And because of that, and as parents wanting them to know that they have that open door of communication, that became a frequent point of conversation. That if you feel like you need to talk, if you are sad, if you are angry, if you are confused, let's talk about what is going on. And on a consistent basis, I would ask, do you want to talk, to me? Is there anything that I can help you with? Or would you maybe want to talk to Pastor Stevens and Lady D about something? Maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable talking to me, but, maybe with our spiritual leaders instead. And so, sometimes I would, see my daughter and she's just kind of sad, and I would just ask her, well, what's wrong? And I would get the, I don't know, I would just get the shoulder shrug. And sometimes, they don't know exactly how to say what's wrong, and really, to be honest, even as adults, right, we may go through the same thing. I mean, I know that I do. I mean, sometimes I can't put a finger on why I'm feeling the way that I feel. But just knowing that there is an open door of communication helped a great deal. One thing too that we tried to do with them is making sure that they still had that time with their friends, so that we can set up a Zoom call so that you guys can just talk just to each other. It's not going to be a whole classroom of people, but just so that you can see a friend, you can talk to a friend, and still having that open door. One thing too that we made a practice is to get away from the games, to get away from the phones, to get away from the computers, and just have game day. Just do something fun, just to break the monotony of doing the same thing over and over again. And really, to be honest, some of the best times that we've had, I mean, where we have laughed, cried laughing, was something simple as playing charades. So the kids had never even played that before. But I'm like, we need to do something different. Like, we need to kind of mix it up some, and so we would play charades, and they just thought that was just the best thing. And we would laugh so hard, you would forget about, the way that you were feeling or how you were thinking about things. And so, it really helped just to, have those times to where, okay, let's have art day, right? Or let's have movie night, let's have game night, just doing something to break apart from the monotony. But most important, though, was making sure that they knew that prayer was always in order. And that was something that that we reiterated to them, is that however you feel, that God knows and he can address that. So from a, parent's perspective, in terms of doing fun things, that was great. But the critical piece, though, was knowing that throughout this whole time, and however you may feel because of this pandemic, that God still knows and that God is still there and that you are still able to approach God and let him know how you feel so that he can heal you from that, so that he can take you past that point. And so, I thank God for just him giving us eyes to see those moments when we had to address those times. One thing that we knew that we had to stay consistent in was making sure that we stayed prayerful, just because of everything that has happened as a result from COVID. I mean, people, have lived in fear, and there's just been just death just all over the world. And a lot of times it's things that, kids can't exactly understand, or they can't completely comprehend what's happening. And because of that, our kids have had a lot of questions. The kids have had a lot of concerns, right, in terms of when is COVID going to be over with, and if somebody gets COVID, are they going to die? And we had to keep these doors of communication open. But pandemic or not, we stress during this time that prayer is always in order. It's always in order.